Oh, lead us not into temptation. This is a fish you'll want to stay away from.
Oh, we use the extreme fish food quite a bit in our shop. We like it very much. It's very palatable for the fish. We a lot of times fish that don't eat other things will eat the pellets, which is a great thing.
Hi everybody, John here with another Fincast, and today I want to talk about the fish that I have on the screen right here. It's called a Chinese high-fin banded shark, or banded loach, and it's not a shark at all. It's actually kind of a sucker fish, and this thing is really cool. It's a good-looking fish, and I saw some juveniles about that big on display at a trade show, and I started asking around a little bit about them, but it turns out that what starts out as a fish about that big, which would look super cool and maybe a planted aquarium or something like that, gets way, way, way bigger, and it's really more suitable for a pond or maybe just the very largest commercial installation. So let's learn a little bit more about the Chinese high-fin banded shark.
Right, they're definitely a neat and interesting oddball. They do grow quite large, and they're cold water tolerant, so they do make almost a better pond fish than they do an aquarium fish. As an adult, these fish are going to be 3-4 feet, maybe even bigger. But they go through a pretty radical profile change as they get larger. As juveniles, they have a really high dorsal fin. They'll lose that as they mature and actually go from almost a muddy brown, black blotched color. As adults, they're more pink or actually red. But the really interesting thing about them, again, is you can keep them in your koi pond. So it's a great choice for people looking for a little bit more diversity in their outdoor ponds.
Dave told me it's actually cold water tolerant, so it can winter over pretty well as long as it doesn't get too cold.
They do keep them in their ponds. They're very, very cold water tolerant, which again is one of the reasons why it makes them such a nice addition to a pond, because most of the time people are looking for a little bit more diversity in their koi ponds. No, not an aggressive fish at all. Just because they call them a shark doesn't mean that they behave like one in any means. But they're more of a grazer. They have an inferior mouth located more on the bottom of their body, so they're going to graze on a lot of algae and offshoots, or just pretty much whatever grows inside of a log or a rock. But they're pretty open to accepting new foods. It depends on the size, but average cost in the pet store is probably going to be between $10 and $30.
I Googled around a little bit and I found some additional information about this fish, and I can just give you some real basic information about it. It does come from China. It's from the Yangtze River Basin in China. Apparently there have been pollution and dams and human activities that have reduced the numbers, so it has been grown in captivity, but only by commercial breeders. Again, as I said, it can grow to be about 50 inches long. It's not a real active swimmer. When it's smaller, you can keep it with white cloud cichlids and rosy barbs, sort of your community fish, but it will outgrow your aquarium pretty quickly. You want to keep it between 60 and 78 degrees, but 68 to 72 seems to be the sweet spot. It'll eat just about anything. Don't want to keep it with in your planted aquarium, because it's going to root up all of your plants and probably eat a good number of them. If you do want to keep it indoors in an aquarium, you're looking at a tank of 150, 200, 300 gallons, because once again, this is a beautiful but a large fish, and they will live for many years. They have been recorded for living over 20 years in captivity, so this is a fish that, if you want to make a commitment to it, could be a long-term pet. Bottom line is if you walk into the pet store, you see the cute little fish that I saw at the trade show, and you think, man, that would be an awesome fish in my aquarium. It would look really cool. It would, but it's probably a fish that you're going to want to stay away from. So I hope this was helpful to you. Please click around. We've got lots of information, species profiles on the freshwater and the saltwater side. Very popular lately has been the video that I did on aggressive marine fish. Took you on a shopping spree, so you might want to check out that video, and I'll put a card to that up above my head, and you can click on that and take a look around. And a lot of people have really enjoyed my recent tour of the 8,000-gallon reef at Center in the Square in Roanoke. So that's something that you might want to take a look at as well. If you want to see a big, beautiful aquarium, that's one to look at. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Fincast.